Steven Gao war einer der ersten Tesla-Ingenieure in China. Er hat in Shanghai für Elon Musk die Batterieproduktion aufgebaut. Und manchmal musste er unter Wahnsinnsdruck Probleme für den Multi-Unternehmer lösen, der inzwischen der reichste Mann der Welt ist. Und warum das wichtig ist? Mit seiner Firma IndustrialMind entwickelt Steven Gao heute KI-Systeme, die viele Aufgaben von Ingenieuren übernehmen können. Er weiß, wie groß die Herausforderungen sind. Trotzdem sagt er, bei dem aktuellen Entwicklungstempo sehe er keine Chance, dass Menschen die KI auf lange Sicht schlagen. Mit dem Maschinenbauingenieur habe ich darüber gesprochen, wie es war, für Musk zu arbeiten. Warum er seine Ausbildung in Deutschland machen, hier aber nicht arbeiten wollte. Und welche Aufgaben vielleicht doch noch für Menschen bleiben, wenn virtuelle KI-Ingenieure den Großteil ihrer Arbeit machen. Und damit herzlich willkommen zu Handelsblatt Disrupt. Ich bin Larissa Holzki und ich freue mich, dass Sie zuhören. Und wenn Sie auch künftig jederzeit wissen wollen, was und wer die Wirtschaft bewegt, dann empfehle ich Ihnen als Ergänzung zu diesem Podcast auch das Handelsblatt-Abo. Ob Märkte, Unternehmen oder technologische Entwicklungen, wir liefern Ihnen fundierte Einordnungen, zeigen spannende Köpfe und erklären die Zusammenhänge. Das Probeabo gibt Ihnen vollen Zugriff auf alle digitalen Inhalte, im Test 4 Wochen lang für nur 1 Euro. Mehr Infos unter handelsblatt.com/mehrwirtschaft. Und damit geht es jetzt direkt zu meinem Gespräch mit Steven Gao, Mitgründer und CEO von IndustrialMind. Hello, Steven.
Hello, Larissa.
Steven, I'm really glad you're here because you bring a rare combination of perspectives. Mechanical engineering experience across China, Germany and the US, years working for Elon Musk, helping build one of his most ambitious manufacturing projects at Tesla, and now your own company where you're building AI engineers. Before we start from the beginning, give us the pitch that only comes after years of industry experience. What is the big vision behind your startup, IndustrialMind?
We are envisioning a world which that engineer knowledge is consolidated in one AI, which help everybody is doing the work, which makes the entire world, all factories, achieve ultimate efficiency.
How exactly can we picture an AI engineer and how do I actually work with one?
So, in the past when we have AI, there's different kind of names, right? There's AI, there's Copilot, there's agent, and the why we call our product as AI engineer is like, we really like to have that AI to work just like an engineer. It's not some guy just you can imagine there is a colleague which works remotely, right? He'll never come to office, he'll never touch you, he'll never have meetings with you, sometimes meetings too, but he's not there physically, but you can feel he's just there working as one of your colleagues. This is how it works. So you can just talk to the AI engineer, and AI engineer will be responsive to your request. And also, not like a ChatGPT, AI engineer will also work in the backend, just like you gave him a task. Please do something for me. Everything you find out, we have a new order. Please process this new order for me. Every time if customer complains, please do explain to customer why this will happen. And you give the task, then AI engineer will work. Yeah, you just work like that with a remote colleague.
And I'm sure this is going to be a fascinating conversation. We'll get into all of that in depth. But first, I want our listeners to get to know you a little. You grew up in the 90s in a small town in China. What was life like there?
It's actually a very traditional town, which you have seen in the middle part of China. It's peaceful. Don't have much to do. Don't have much to think about. It just do a regular life and go study there, and also kind of poor.
Mm-hmm.
Like the economy is slow. Everything is not very well developed. But it's also good for you to enjoy a childhood which does not have any concerns on anything.
Mm-hmm. This is interesting because here in Germany we have a pretty specific image of growing up in China, especially for the generation shaped by the one-child policy. The idea is enormous pressure, enormous competition, one child carrying the financial future of the whole family. Is that picture accurate? Is that what you experienced?
From an outsider perspective, maybe it's just a difference from country to country. Just like we always think there is some places that people there are under huge pressure, or we have some stereotypes. There is people from certain country in Europe which does not work and only enjoy their life, right? It's more like a stereotype. But from my historical past, what I feel is like you're a child, you don't experience anything. Like even you're the only child in your family, you don't feel any pressure. I need to make everything for the entire family. Just why is that relevant to me as a child? And I think there's the impact on this policy. What that give me is like I don't need to stay at home that long time. I can play all around the world and with other friends outside of family. So kind of explore much more. But imagine you have a big family, you enjoy the time with your family, with your brothers and sisters. Yeah, I think that is just a kind of different kind of perspective. And from what I feel, is still like my childhood, my years in middle school, like elementary school. Yeah, it was fun. And maybe it's also because I was from this part which is nowhere in China, not like the largest cities, which is pressure already are almost on everybody.
And as a teenager, you were deeply into computers. You assembled your own PC from parts, repaired other people's machines, as far as I know, and you taught yourself everything. Where did that come from?
So when I was very young, I really like games. I like all kinds of games. And the first time I was playing computer, it was fascinating that you can play so many games on one machine, right? Because like in the past, you always look for so many different kind of machines in order to play games. So that is time when I really tried to get my computer. But that time still computers are expensive, are not easy to get. So I started to play computers everywhere. And that is time when I got really familiarized with computer. And later stage, I actually find out just by building, repairing computers are also another type of fun. Just like playing games. Okay, I have a broken computer. How am I going to repair that? I need a new computer. How can I get that with the cheapest price, right? Like by assembling of these parts, you get a cheaper final price. So it is kind of, it's already a signal that I will choose to do mechanical engineering and together with computer.
Nach einer kurzen Unterbrechung geht es gleich weiter. Bleiben Sie dran.
Strukturwandel, geopolitische Konflikte, steigende Kreditrisiken und digitale Disruption. Das Marktumfeld für Banken und Fintechs bleibt herausfordernd und bietet gleichzeitig enorme Chancen. Beim Handelsblatt Bankengipfel am 2. und 3. September in Frankfurt kommen führende Akteure aus Politik, Aufsicht, Finanzwelt und Wirtschaft zusammen, um Lösungen für die kommenden Herausforderungen zu entwickeln. Jetzt anmelden unter handelsblatt-bankengipfel.de und sparen Sie 15% mit dem Code Bankengipfel26.
Before we go further and things might get a little technical from here, I need to explain one important rule on this podcast. We talk about new technologies in a way that experts can still learn something from, but in words that anyone can understand. So I have this little squeaker. And if you hear it, don't worry. Just take one sentence to explain the term you just used. Deal?
Yeah.
Let's practice with an easy one. For everyone who didn't study engineering, what exactly does a mechanical engineer do and learn?
So you learn how to design and build physical stuff, mostly mechanical stuff. You think about what people need at the beginning as a product, and then you engineer that. You do CAD models, you do all this simulations in order to figure out, okay, what I'm going to design. And then later you design a process, right? You design a way that the factories can handle that product. And then in the end, you manage all the operations, which leads to a higher efficiency and produce a product in the end in a lowest cost possible. So that is mechanical engineering from end to end.
And early in your studies, you decided you wanted to do your master's degree in Germany. At that time, it was clearly the place to be for an aspiring mechanical engineer. Now, imagine your son would face the same decision today. Would you still send him to Germany in 2026? What speaks for it and what speaks against it?
Yes, I think that when I was this kind of designing my path, I think Germany is definitely the most important step. So that is a country when everybody says if you do mechanical engineering, you have to go there. Like all the best cars are from Germany, all the best factories, all the large companies are from Germany, so you have to do there. And in more recent years, I think it gave me more like important step. That's the first step. So I later went to the United States and other countries. So nowadays, if that is 2026, I'll still send my child to Germany, probably as also the first step. Let him to feel the country, feel what is building there, feel the change, and also what I see is Germany is in a very interesting stage right now. The entire industry in the past is changing a lot. I think be the center of this place, which is changing, is also very good.
And I heard that you actually started learning German during your bachelor's in China. Could we do this interview in German too?
Ja, natürlich. Warum nicht?
Okay, what's the most important sentence in German you've ever needed?
Entschuldigung?
Entschuldigung is an important one, I guess.
It is, yeah.
Your first professional experiences took you to Bosch in Munich, then to South Carolina, and you wrote your thesis at Opel in Rüsselsheim. Then you took your first real job at a General Motors joint venture and moved back to China before eventually landing in Elon Musk's gigafactory. That is a very rare journey, and we can't cover every stop in detail, but I want to spend a good part of this interview on what you learned along the way, because I think our listeners can learn a lot from that. So let's start here. Why was Germany the place to learn, but not the place to stay and work?
It's actually very good questions. Like I actually think about that a lot. Why Germany was not the best place to start the real job. I think my path going around from Munich to Rüsselsheim to South Carolina to the United States is always to answer one question. It's like, where am I going to build the best factory? Where am I going to build the best mechanical engineering, the best data science? So I was searching around. The best thing I learned is like, the entire world, every place is so different. Even you are producing the same product, you are doing that in completely different way. So I see the same product is producing in China, in US, in Germany, produced totally different way. And then later, I find Germany is already so developed. Like that is time where I think the factories here in Germany is so good. It makes me think about there is not that much that I can contribute. Like there is a place which is developing still very fast. They have not as good as, like not a good foundation as Germany. They don't have that much experienced engineers. So that is the place where I feel, okay, I can contribute much more. So that is time, this kind of a selection criteria for me as a job. I have to be or like play a relatively important role in that place. But Germany, you feel, okay, there is so many good engineers here. Maybe I'm not able to help them a lot.
And when you say the same product is produced in different ways, in different places, what do you mean by that?
So when I was working in Munich and also in South Carolina, they actually are plants to the same, what we call international production network of Bosch. So they're actually producing the same product. And I also know some friends in China who is running the factory producing the same part. And, even you have to produce the same part, but the process design are slightly different. The mindset of people are different. The yield, the quality standards are should be identical, but still they're slightly different. And especially it's like how people react when there is some actions needed are totally different. For example, yesterday you got a 99.9% quality, and today you got 92.
Mm-hmm.
And if you see this gap, and these people in different countries react totally differently. I say maybe American people are more like, we're still doing a very good job. Let's continue. And the German will probably start a very comprehensive analysis on what are the root cause, what is hypothesis, what is plan A, B, and C. And we start working together. And that time, Chinese is more like in style, okay, the boss will see, we need to get this fixed tomorrow. Don't do that much analysis, just try everything. Let's try this, try that, let's see if tomorrow will get better. So that is actually fascinating, right? Like people, they are all very good, like educated engineers.
That is really fascinating because that means that the country's culture is more defining than the company's culture, isn't it?
Exactly.
So you also said that you had a good work-life balance here in Germany. Our chancellor believes Germans simply don't work enough. Is he right?
Yeah, I can definitely see that. I'm expecting, or I hope, the German will work more. In a way that the entire country can be like a little bit more effective than right now.
Mm-hmm. And you eventually ended up at Tesla working for Elon Musk. You probably can't imagine a company being run less like a German company than his. So what was that like?
Yeah, so I only tell one story. There was a time we had some trouble with one production line. And we know that Elon Musk is going to have a call with us like in 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
And we just worked the whole night, does not sleep for about 24 hours or even more. And then we had a call with him. And on that call, we kind of get his command that he need to see some result in another 24 hours. Then we continue to work for another 24 hours without sleep and get things done. So this is how you normally work. It's not uncommon for such things within Tesla.
I think we can imagine, since at the Gigafactory in Grünheide here in Germany, there's now a serious power struggle with the unions. I mean, speed is a core value at Musk's companies, but so is pressure. Are we Germans simply too soft, or did you experience the pressure he put on you as problematic too?
Yeah, I think it's definitely there is some situation which you feel sometimes very desperate or like is frustrated because he's very ambitious and he does not care sometimes the details, right? He will not listen to your explanations or feedback on why that will not happen. Like he said, okay, from the physics, there is some elements and there is product. We have to figure out a way to turn that elements into a product. If you say no, and from physics, why I didn't see that there is a rule that we have to break, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can just follow the physics and that is done. That is the first principle that he does. So that creates definitely some kind of situation which is engineering mindset is not even feasible, but he still push you always to the limit that push you to achieve that. So this is something that we feel sometimes also kind of frustrated because you down to earth as an engineer, you know that will not happen. Mm-hmm. But still, he does not care.
Mm-hmm.
Just want you to achieve that. I mean, in the end, he might understand that, okay, you tried so hard, everybody tries so hard, tries best, you're best engineers, it will not happen, he'll understand. But there is also some situations that he will not understand, and in the end, there's the consequences that you have to take. This is how he works. But it's also like pushing people to limit, to challenge the most fundamental rules. Is how he works. Yeah, it's kind of it will not be very comfortable.
It is also said about Steve Jobs at Apple that he expected things from people that were assumed to be impossible, and that he could create a so-called reality distortion field where his employees suddenly believed the task was solvable. Did you experience something like this at Tesla as well?
I think so. I know. I mean, even for a short time, like he's very. So this kind of person is. You feel there's feel after you talk to him, and you feel empowered. Even there's very short conversation, you feel like there's power that he gave you that make you to work harder without stop. And also when he's not working, like just having meetings, like meeting with the larger groups, it's not about discussion of the engineer stuff, but more like sharing things. It's very. I mean, he really will make you feel the same. Like if he is happy, he's smiling, he smiles very loud. You know, like he smiles like ha ha ha, very loud. And if you really feel that happiness coming from it. So that I think is definitely Steve Jobs and Elon Musk. These kind of people, they will have the kind of magic to control your mind.
You helped build one of Tesla's first production lines outside the US in battery manufacturing. So what was the biggest challenge you faced there?
So for the battery line, you can imagine that should be, or from the design, should be just a typical battery line that you just, you have that product already, you just build something which is similar to the past. But when you move a production line from one country to another country, it's not only duplications. You change your supply chain. You change the way that you store the raw material. You change the people who manage that. You even change the supplier of the part of the machine. And then you will realize it looks all the same, but you get totally different result.
Why is that?
At the beginning, our yield is like how it's the final success rate of the product is like after the production line, you do your inspection on the product. You can imagine it's more than 50% of the parts you produced failed the test. You cannot use that. It should be somewhere about 99.5 to 99.9, but you got 20, you got 50. It's frustrating. Even you are doing exactly the same thing. And that is time when we were thinking about like, what is wrong with that? Like why we just like, we try to copy whatever exists already. But the hardest thing is like, you cannot know the things that you don't know that you don't know, right? You don't know something you don't know, and you will never know. You will never figure it out.
Something many people don't realize is probably that very few engineers ever experience building a production line from scratch, at least in Germany. What do you learn from that you simply can't learn anywhere else?
So, there was a time when the machine does not work. People will pray that hope the machine will work. There is time like you have nothing to do. You tried everything on the machine and the machine just doesn't work. So by building a new production line is why you cannot learn that, because you have seen totally different kind of problems in running a stable production. So the ramp up phase is totally different. The problem that you solved will not ever happen again in real production. So I think the biggest thing that I learned at the beginning is like, how can you create the fastest correction loop while wrapping up, right? Because while wrapping up is like, the worst thing is like you plan everything and you try to fix a lot of problems once. But what we should do is actually, today you got a problem, you fix that by the end of this day. And even the way that you fix that is temporary, is still better than that you fix that by the end of this week. Because the problem that you fix will have impact on how the production line will evolve. So the production line is something not stable, it's a living product. Everybody, for example, myself, for example, today I got a problem. I need to reprogram some of this machine. And the way that I reprogram will change or will lead to another problem. And I will rewrite another program. And then I kind of like modify the line a little bit one day by day. And at the end, after 6 months, you get it looks the same, but totally different production lines. And this methodology is not something that you can learn while running production.
And building from scratch is a good cue. Just over a year ago, you started your own company, IndustrialMind. And interestingly, you're based in Silicon Valley. After all your global experience, why there?
Yeah, I think Silicon Valley is definitely one place which is so unique that you cannot compare. I mean, if you ask any like startup, VC, and everybody will tell you, okay, Silicon Valley, from the history of like the big names like Apple and all this like computer companies, is still the best place to start something new. It's the innovation, it's a density of talent, density of capital will have the highest chance to create new startups. So, and just like the reason why I choose Germany to study mechanical engineering, right? If you ask anybody, where should you learn mechanical engineering? It's Germany. And where should you start a new startup? It's Silicon Valley. It just like every time I try to pick the best environment for doing a new thing.
And you gave us the pitch at the beginning, but let's go deeper. What kind of problems have you already solved?
So imagine there is an engineer can do almost end-to-end. So we build an AI that can understand customer requirements. So if a customer come to you as a factory, customer say, okay, just like, like Steve Jobs, like, I like the best phone. What is best phone like? What is color should be that? What is the shape? Do you need keyboards? Do you need a screen? So our AI, we try to match the AI, match the requirement from our customer to the product that the factory is building. We call it more like RFQ understanding. And then,
so what's RFQ?
So RFQ is called request for quotation, which means as a factory, you will get a lot of requests for quotation. It's like the customer say, okay, I need a product which fits into my machine. I need a product which can do that for me, and I have specifications, right? So that is a kind of something, of course, that we call RFQ. And our AI can now understand RFQs and turn that into the following steps, like your quotation, your pricing, and also from that, it will trigger a lot of internal process. It will trigger a quotation process. It will trigger also a process planning process internally. And then later, for this design phase, we will give the AI will give the factory a conceptual design to help you to accelerate the design process, to reduce the time from your get requirement to deliver. And after this design, we have a very typical product something called design review. That means AI can help you to review this design if design fits into customers' requirement, if the design is compliant to any regulations, if the product follows the best practice of this company. And after design phase, we'll normally into production operation and quality analysis, which means the AI is just trying to watch the production line. I mean, virtually watch the production line for getting data and make decisions to, okay, currently you have some anomaly from my best guess that could be reason from the material, and then please inspect the material again, or please change another batch. And in the end, the last step is always quality analysis. We got a product called root cause analysis, which help our factories to identify what could be the root cause for all the quality faults.
You were excited about large language models from the moment ChatGPT launched, and you were already using them at Tesla. What role do they play today in the most advanced manufacturing processes, and where is the big potential?
Yeah. Right after ChatGPT launch, I feel that was magic. I wasn't doing AI for many years, but still I feel that is moment I feel, how exactly is it done? It's like, it's so amazing. So I started already to train the models and build products around the language models. And we're also training our own at this moment. And we're typically, you can think about, our vision at the beginning for this kind of a model is to play a role as an expert of some domain. So we consolidate our knowledge and build a knowledge base across the entire factory, one domain by another domain. And then we build a model on top of that, so the model can respond to you on the anomalies. For example, when I was running production, just like battery, today we got a better yield, and why that happens? And tomorrow we got a worse yield, why that happens? And that is kind of a generic questions that you can answer from the expert. And also, if there is any special issues, okay, I found there is a special crack on this product from the first machine of this line. What could be the result, and what should I do? So that is the first prototypes that we're building around language models. And still, even after 3 years since that time, that application is still being evolved very fast. It now can have access to data, has access to your other systems, just like a high school student at the beginning doing the same thing, and now you're doing your bachelor, doing your master, doing your PhD. But the fundamental problems in the past is the same. Like, how do we get the knowledge of engineers and just work like an engineer?
And people like OpenAI, Sam Altman, or Anthropic's Dario Amodei and Elon Musk try to solve most problems through technology today. Were there moments in your career where you realized there are things an experienced engineer can solve faster or better than any AI, and probably always will?
Sadly, with the current development of AI and the speed that AI involves, I don't see a chance that human can beat AI for a long time. This is more like, sometimes I feel kind of sad. Even I was an engineer, I still kind of worried about the progress of AI. And there was time that people feel, okay, this AI is so great, it's better than me from all the perspective, it's faster, more accurate, more stable, does not feel tired. So for me, it's always like AI will beat human in most of these tasks, which is kind of ordinary. But there is only a few exceptions. Like, so there is some design which we call out of distribution. So in the end, language models are doing sampling from what is already exists on the world. And most of the engineering work that is more like doing combinations, doing calculations, doing statistics around all the possibilities and find the best combination. But there is some engineer task which requires you go beyond of everything which already exists, and to figure out if there is something out of this distribution which is a better choice. And this kind of task is more like innovative design. And I think AI still, from the current AI progress, human engineers or scientists will play a more important role than AI. And AI is still going to assist you, but you have to have human in the loop.
Nach einer kurzen Unterbrechung geht es gleich weiter. Bleiben Sie dran.
Mehr denn je. Mehr Krise denn je, mehr Chancen denn je. Mehr Digitalisierung, Globalisierung, Polarisierung. Mehr Innovation, Disruption, Desinformation. Mehr Wettbewerb denn je. Mehr Pessimismus, mehr Optimismus. Mehr richtig, mehr falsch, mehr alles, mehr nichts. Nie war es wichtiger, die Fakten zu kennen. Handelsblatt. Substanz entscheidet. Heute mehr denn je.
But still your position is not AI replaces the Meister. It's AI keeps the Meister's judgment from retiring when the Meister does. So can you explain that in concrete terms?
So AI will not be the best of some work, right? So we sometimes we call AI is, at the beginning we try to build AI which is work as average engineer. And then later we try to build an AI to work as 75 percentile of engineers. So AI could be better than 75% of these people who is doing the job. And still the real master of some area will still be there coaching AI and exam AI and reviews AI. It's just like you're doing audit, right? So even you think AI is good enough to take over the daily operations, but still the master will come here like every week or every month to have exams on AI. Okay, are you still doing okay? Are you still working normal? So I think the masters of each area will still play a very critical role, or even more critical, because in the past you have a master and you have a lot of students learning from you. You have much more students learning from their students. You have a very good hierarchy which transform a knowledge to other people's knowledge. But now I think maybe in the future you will see there is one master managing a lot of AI engineer to work like that.
So how do you pick talent for your own company and how do you imagine their future roles?
Yeah, that is actually very critical for almost everybody, not only for me. So I see the two trends. So the first is like the definitions of roles will be blurred. So in the past, I mean, in a team, you can see if that is a software-based team, you see there is a front-end developers, back-end developers, machine learning engineers, data scientists, DBAs, SREs, like site reliability engineers, and so on. But later,
I just wanted to squeak, but you explained already.
yes. These guys are taking over the reliability of your software. And for us, in the past, we actually have more as a team because we are not doing the traditional software, but we are building software for traditional industries. So we have also traditional industry experts. And now in our team, we kind of split only in two roles.
Mm-hmm.
So the people who has direct interaction with customer and the people who does not.
So you still have people that interact with customers. I would say
yes.
This is a role that is automized within a large share of companies already, isn't it?
It is. But for us, it's like at the earliest stage of this company, we still like to, we design it intentionally to get more feedback from our customers. Mm-hmm. So we like to have people there to talk with the customer to say, how do you feel about our product? What do you need in the future? Is this something you need? And what is feedback? So we design that way. And that is also something we feel as it will not disappear, even when AI is powerful. It's like, even I feel very effective, but still, I just like to talk with some people, right? Mm-hmm. Just please give me a real person. Mm-hmm. And I like to talk to these people. So now the roles are blurred, especially on technology side. So AI is now taking over, say, 90% or more of our traditional software writing tasks. And that is blurred. So that is first. So we need to pick the people who is ready to become a role which is not or cannot be clearly defined. So can accept uncertainty, can evolve faster. So this is people from our first selection. Mm-hmm. And the second one is second characteristics that we're looking for is definitely the hope for the future. So you have seen a lot of people really smart, brilliant, but they do not have the passion to change the world, right? They can do a job clearly as long as you give him a task. He can work in a regular life. He can also do a lot of extra work as needed. But down the earth, in their heart, they're not say, okay, I'm going to change this, I'm going to change that, I'm going to change the world. We need some people as a startup. We need some people who has a passion to shape the world into the world that they would like to live in. Just like I was always asking a lot of our employee, imagine in the future, nobody really need to work, right? AI is so powerful and you got backed by government. Government will give you base salary. You can do whatever you want. Then what do you want to do? If you still want to do a job which will have a chance to shape the world, then you are the one. If you say, okay, why I'm going to work? I can just travel in the world. I can go hiking. I can go surfing. I can swim. I can do whatever to enjoy the world. Then you're another type. So enjoy the world or change the world.
And do I need to have the passion to work for 24 hours nonstop when I want to join IndustrialMind?
At least if I ask you, you can say yes. So I'm not ask you to do that, but if I ask you, are you willing to? I hope I get an answer like yes.
As far as I know, you've raised just over $1 million so far, mostly from investors in the German ecosystem. Has the idea not yet landed with the big US investors, or is this a deliberate choice?
Actually, we were raising money like globally. It's like as a global startup, I would like to be friends with a lot of global investors. So our current funding at this stage is from US investors and also Singapore investors. And the Singapore investor is also more like a globalized investor, has presence in Europe, US, and also other major regions. And we're hoping to get more in other countries as well. So build a very diverse portfolio from our side to become friends of as many people as possible. And we are going to close another round very soon. And hopefully we can announce that soon.
Looking forward to that. Steven, you already explained to me why you chose to build your company in the US. Can we read from that decision who you think will win the global AI race?
I think it's still early at this AI race. If you think about that as a marathon, I think we're still at the first kilometer. So it's so hard.
41 to go.
Yes, yeah. We started in US, but we are not positioned as a US only company. I mean, like starting there is more like a starting point. And now actually most of our customers are German headquartered company. So that's why we attend also Hannover Messe this year.
Where we've met first.
Yes, we met first. Also, we joined Tech 2026 in Heilbronn. And we will be there much more often in the future. Not hopefully, but we already plan to be there more often in the future. Yeah. So I think winning the AI race is still too early. And the key points of that is not like building or how fast, how strong you can build the AI. But I think the later stage of the marathon is in how you can apply AI to the entire world.
And in Europe, we are very uncertain whether this can still end well for us. What do you think?
I think it's more like how you say it. It's like more optimistic or like how you think that. But I think the worry about that does not lead to a clear actions. So you have to have actions, whether you're worried or you're not worried. The worst thing is like you just worry about anything but do not do anything, right? You can either stop that from developing, you can either put more regulations, or either you can do a lot of things. But I think the best thing is like just join the race first and try to understand how AI is really developing. And if you are a part of that development, you have a clear understanding, and then you can make better decisions. So I've seen a lot of people worry about AI, but has so few knowledge on AI right now. So then you're worried about thing which is not even true, right? But so that is my recommendations to a lot of people who are worried about AI. I'll tell them, okay, maybe just try build some AI by yourself and try feel the limitations. Try feel how it changed. Try get a better knowledge. And then it's like, how do you control that? You understand it, then you control it. It's not reversed.
Steven, that's a very good advice to close with. Thank you so much for your advices, for your insights, and for being with us today.
Thank you. It's my honor to be here, and I'd like to talk to you more in the future.
See you then.
See you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Und das war's auch schon wieder mit Handelsblatt Disrupt. Wenn es Ihnen gefallen hat, abonnieren Sie diesen Podcast und sagen Sie es weiter. Redaktion Larissa Holzki, Produktion Nico Fecke.
Wer findet eigentlich die besten Talente für Ihr Unternehmen? Die Antwort kennen vor allem die Firmen, die bereits mit Ihnen gearbeitet haben. Genau diese ruft die Wirtschaftswoche nun auf, ihre Erfahrungen zu teilen. Bewerten Sie jetzt Ihren Favoriten für die Studie Deutschlands beste Personalberater 2026. Fundiert, praxisnah und erfahrungsgestützt. Machen Sie Qualität sichtbar auf vivo.de/Personalberater.